with a police warning about a frightening crime trend. Follow home robberies.
One person was hurt and a car stolen.
One kick, and I was in. Look at this. Should it be this easy to break in? And this exact situation has happened to many people I know, and I'm not gonna let myself or you, my viewers, be the next victims. So I spent the last few months diving deep into this, researching, talking to experts, all to understand how the best thieves are getting into our homes. And it turns out they're taking advantage of weak spots in the way our homes are constructed. So I built this set to show you exactly where those weak spots are and what they're doing to get inside. But I'm not stopping there. I'm also testing security products to figure out which will stop thieves and which are a waste of money before time runs out. This video is brought to you by Incogni. More on them later. Most of us don't have Fort Knox level security, so the only thing standing between a thief and our stuff are our windows, doors, and locks. If you ask me how I would break into a home, it would be through a window. I've broken glass, you've broken glass, we've all broken glass, and tons of burglars do the same thing. Their tool of choice is a brick. And this here is a common double pane window, and supposedly a little harder to get in. Safety first, everybody. Even if you are doing burglary, don't do this at home. Don't do this to other people. It should be pretty easy. Brick, window. Let's see what happens. Wow, that's super loud. Oh, it didn't get through the second layer. I gotta throw it harder. We had this idea that thieves wouldn't want to go through this. This wouldn't even cross my mind. I can see why, yes, you could break a window, but there's good reasons you don't. Like, look at that. That's still attached. It's incredibly dangerous. No one wants to deal with this. Even getting in, you get hurt 100%. You're bleeding. You got your DNA all over the place. Why would you want to risk that? Look at this. It's a portal to hell. And the sound. Even the kids in the neighborhood checked in after us, right? After initial smash, we had a couple ones riding on their bikes just to see what's going on. So I learned that while breaking windows is easy and fun, there's a ton of drawbacks, and it wouldn't be my first choice if I was the thief. But I'm curious though, what are the experts saying?
Most burglars are stupid, dumb, and lazy.
I'm talking to Michael SILVA. He's a seasoned security consultant who's worked with large government institutions, celebrities, and billionaires to secure the properties from criminals, including thieves. How are most criminals getting into your home?
It's one of those things that's hard to stereotype, but it is kicking the door, it is breaking a window next to the door or in the door to reach around and unlatch the door, but they're usually doing the doors first.
This tracks with the Department of Justice report that looked at 1.1 million burglaries, and they found in only 24% of cases, thieves are breaking a window to get in. Instead, at 35% of the time, they're gonna break down your door. Let's see how. So this here is what many front doors in North America are built like. It has a wooden frame and a solid core. In this case, it's lined with a fiberglass shell. To get through this, I'm going to kick down the door. Seems dramatic, but it's actually the most common tactic for thieves. Is this as easy as the movies made it look? Or will it look like the guys in Shark Tank? That was my first attempt. It was so easy. I felt nothing. Nothing. Anybody could do this. One swift kick. I've been training. I know how to throw a kick, but still, anybody could kick down your door. This was shockingly easy. And to understand why, we need to take a look behind this facade and understand what's supporting many houses and doors. Let's take a look to see why most homes are weak. Check out this framing. It's called the rough opening, and it's made out of wooden members or studs, and it gives room for a door and the door frame to be placed inside and secured. If you look closer, there's a gap, and this is the problem. When a burglar kicks down the door, the force from the kick goes into this area of the door here. Most cheaper locks have tiny screws that can't reach the wooden studs next to it. So really, this strip of wood is all that's keeping the burglars out. But not all thieves are brutes. Some might get in through more elegant and quiet methods. Today, I have a 5-pin deadbolt that many of you will find in your home. Click out of 1, click out of 4,
20 minutes later.
And it's open. This is lockpicking, and it's the silent, stealthy method you've seen in spy movies. To understand this attack, we need to talk about what's happening inside. So in a typical lock, when you insert the wrong key, there are a stack of 5 pins inside that will stick out and stop the cylinder from turning. Here, you can just see the inner plug and those pins in action, keeping you safe. When you insert the right key, all those pins will align like pieces of a puzzle, and you can turn the lock, letting you inside. Lockpicking exploits the mechanical vulnerabilities that makes this all work. I can use a wrench to put tension on the pins, and then one by one, push the top pins above the inner cylinder. When I do that correctly for all 5 pins, it unlocks, just like magic.
So this is a super simplified explanation of lockpicking. I learned all this conveniently through YouTube. You might be thinking, wouldn't Thieves do the same? Not really. And according to David and other stats, lockpicking is rare.
Most burglars are stupid, dumb, and lazy, and so it's going to be an impulse burglary. They might have a screwdriver or something like that. It's less common for them to have sophisticated tools.
Most thieves are looking for fast and easy ways of getting in.
It's smashing time. Not as far down as I need it to be.
You need a move.
No, I can't. Oh, but that's basically gone at this point. I don't even need to drill out this lock.
I was trying to replicate a video where a firefighter hits the lock hard, giving her a gap to use a pick and pull on the lever to retract a deadbolt. This is called an ice pick attack, and while it wasn't that fast for me, in 30 seconds I destroyed that lock, which also gave me enough room to do the same. This was shockingly easy, and it's because the Honeywell lock I tested has the lowest security rating, grade 3. Unfortunately, many of you have an equally flimsy lock on your doors, but luckily, it's easy to fix that.
So we just saw there are a ton of ways for thieves to get in and exploit vulnerabilities in your home to cause havoc. There are also a ton of ways for-profit companies and criminals are exploiting vulnerabilities with your personal data.
Remember liking something on your favorite website? Signing up for a free trial? What many of us don't know is that this data can be packaged and sold to organizations called data brokers, who then resell that data to other companies. That's how you end up getting bombarded with robocalls, junk mail, and sometimes targeted for scams. 2 weeks ago, this happened to my dad. He suddenly called me up, incredibly worried. A scammer sent him this email with his full name, address, and was trying to trick him into thinking they had compromising information on him. Imagine if he fell for it and sent over money. It scared me, not just for him, but for myself. Privacy and safety matter a lot to me, and I know it does for a lot of you too. Enter Incogni. They quickly get your information out of this marketplace. It took me minutes to sign up and grant Incogni permission to go out there and make legal requests to hundreds of brokers to remove any personal information they have on me. My dad did the same with his account. Along the way, Incogni kept us updated on how many brokers have completed this request and how many will never recollect my data again. If you did this yourself, it would take a long time. If gaining control over your privacy and safety is important, Incogni might be interesting to you. There's a link in the description below. It's incogni.com/Andrew Lamb, and it gets you a 60% discount for the yearly plan, which lets Incogni continue working its magic as companies continue to suck up your data. If you choose the friends and family plan like me, you can protect 4 other people, which now includes my father. Thank you, Incogni. Now let's get back to explaining how to secure your home. It's finally time to fix our home, and I want to start with the most likely way thieves are getting in.
You'd be surprised how many burglars get through unlocked doors. But if they don't do that, then they usually kick in the door. So that's kind of the most common.
There are a ton of products on the market to keep your door shut, but many of them don't work if you're not home. Normally, I would spend a ton of time researching what to do, but luckily, I got some advice from Michael. He says most home doors use a wooden frame, and this is the greatest point of weakness. And he has 3 tiers of solutions to strengthen it. I'm gonna test them all as I wanna know which ones will hold up under real world conditions. Starting with the best, because if this fails, none of the rest really matters.
And the third level was to use what they call a door and frame reinforcement kit. And they actually have a several foot long plate that goes on the door, the lock set on the door as well. And that's kind of gives you the best protection.
Since Michael doesn't recommend specific products, I did some research online and found Door Armor Max. And for $100, you get a door and hinge shield, plus a 40-inch long steel plate that can be used to fix a broken door frame. Before I start kicking, I wanted a benchmark. How long should a security product last? And in the UK, they have a few for forced entry, with 2 dealing with opportunistic burglars, which most home thieves are. 3 minutes looks good, as by then, if a thief can't get in, they're likely going somewhere else. Here's my prediction. In the next 3 minutes, I'm not going to be able to do anything to this. It's not going to break in. However, the door could be kicked in. I mean, it's a little bit weak here, so we don't know.
3 minutes. Oh, I think so. Oh shit, that look. I'm not getting through this door. I think I keep kicking for the next 10 minutes. I'm tired. I feel like I would be in good shape. I'm not getting through this door. Clearly, this is a great solution. I mean, that's bent but not defeated. Did its job.
Amazing. That worked really well. Let's look at the next tier.
The next thing is to put a longer strike plate that distributes the force of the kicks. So the more surface area you have of a strike plate, the stronger it's going to be.
So I did some research online and found the Prime Line door strike for $14. I'm actually excited to test this out, as an Inside Edition video showed a similar looking product holding up to several kicks. They called this a fortress door. Let's see if that's actually true. I think I might break this. Or I might break the wood at least, we'll see. 3 minutes, incredibly hard kicking. This frame was already broken. The screws are a little bit ajar, but it held. Anyone's coming in, they're gonna be spending a lot of time. This was installed on a broken frame and it's still held up.
This clearly worked. For the money, amazing. Let's look at our final and cheapest possible tier.
The very simplest thing you could do is simply take out, the 1/2-inch screws and replace them with screws that go all the way through the frame into the stud or 2x4 behind.
I've actually heard this solution before. It's common advice from police and other experts.
This one's different because we've taken 2 3-inch screws just like these and drilled them into the plate. So we'll see how things fare differently.
So I have in my hand 3-inch screws, and I put them into a brand new door jamb behind me. And now that metal strike is much more firmly attached.
So here's my prediction. I think it's gonna last no more than 1.5 minutes max before the wood or the screws kind of start bulging outwards or they break completely. But I really don't know. What do you think? 3 minutes on the timer, and 2, 1, and okay. Wow, that did not work at all. Oh man, 3 kicks to break in. That's all it took. Oh, that is incredibly disappointing. All right, so 3-inch security screws. I'd call this busted. It didn't work. The entire lock area just ripped out. I thought it would last longer. It didn't. So that wasn't the outcome I expected, but that's why I love testing things myself.
By the way, I also tested other door products, including pry bar guards, hinge protection, and I was surprised by what I found. Those results and bonus footage will be on my website, linked in the description below.
All right, so our door is finally protected, and this is a big win for safety. But we can't stop there because of this threat.
Windows, they may try a window if you've got a very vulnerable window. So for example, windows next to doors, and the reason they're breaking the window is to reach around and open the door.
So window bars and security screens are proven to work, but can give your home a prison-like feel. Instead, there's another product I thought was more exciting. Security film. It's a thick piece of plastic that sticks onto your glass, and it's very similar to how bulletproof glass works. I wanted to try this myself, so I bought the thickest available in my area, 14 mil by Armor Coat. And it's applied a lot like your screen protector for your phone. The difference is that you need to add a structural adhesive to keep your window from falling out of the frame. All right, 5 to 10. Let's see how this goes. It should shout out the first piece, and then we got to the next ones. Oh. Oh, that took the blast. 5, 6, 8, 9. Oh, it's the film. No, get through the film now. Okay, so the glass is falling off the film. Let's even get through the film. 10. Oh, 11. 11 shots, and it's finally ripped. Whew. So look at this. I thought this was a huge success. The glass is still in the frame. It took 10 rock throws to break the film. And even then, at a distance, you might not be able to see that it's been torn. And I think this could be enough to scare off any thieves looking to get inside really quickly and didn't expect the glass to still be inside the frame. So now our windows have been protected, our doors have been protected, and it's now time to improve on that Honeywell lock that's supposed to be providing me peace of mind, but it got smashed and died within 10 blows. This was a grade 3 rated lock and unfortunately found on many homes today. So in America, ANSI, the American National Standards Institute, rates locks with grade 1 being the highest and grade 3 the lowest. With how crappy this Honeywell was, I had a theory that other grade 3 locks were just as bad. So I tested one of the most popular on Amazon, the Kwikset 660. In a span of 45 seconds, this lock was completely destroyed. And while it lasted longer than the Honeywell, to me, it's clear grade 3 locks are hot garbage and shouldn't be on your home. So from the advice I got, I looked at grade 1 locks and purchased one popular model, the Schlage B60, which costs $30 to $40. Let's see how that turned out. I'm more through the door than I am through this lock at this point, actually. Wow, so that was a huge difference. And you can see from the insides how much more material it has to resist the physical attack. As well, with how much noise I was making, most thieves would have given up a long time ago. So my recommendation is that you upgrade to a $30 to $40 grade 1 lock, which will keep out the vast majority of thieves out there. There are exceptions, of course. Do you remember Icepicking from earlier before? I've seen videos and photos where burglars drill the hole above the lock to gain access. The solution is a commercial lock like this $70 Schlage B560, which has an integrated ice pick collar that'll keep them out. As well, if you are very rich or a celebrity, Michael has seen a rise in lockpicking attacks thanks to the internet. He recommends a high security lock. I have a medical in my hand, and when you hold this, you can tell how heavy, how far better built it is than anything you can get at Home Depot. And their internals are complicated and will frustrate anyone who isn't the very best world-class expert, but most of you don't need to keep James Bond out of your home.
You didn't get the postcard?
Save your money for more important upgrades. So I'll have a full written article with those details as well as links to products I liked in the description below. I also want to thank Michael Silva for his help with this video, and he has an excellent book on practical home security, how to defend your home, and a fantastic website with a ton of great security information. Finally, I want to thank my sponsor Incogni, who is protecting myself and my family's privacy and safety by getting our personal information out of the hands of data brokers. To all my viewers, thank you for watching. I hope this video makes a difference to you or your loved ones. See you in the next one. Subscribe for more.